Good morning. My name is John Trimble. I'm a professor at Chouani University of Technology, and I'm also the director of the International Network on Appropriate Technology. We've been organizing conferences on appropriate technology now since 2004. This is our 9th International Conference on Appropriate Technology that starts today and runs through Friday. The theme of the conference, Technology Exchange and Employment Creation for Community Empowerment, Cross-Pollinating Innovative Models. That's a mouthful, I know. But the thing is that as a network on appropriate technology, we're focusing in on the fact that we want technology to be shared across communities. And we see this appropriate technology as technology that empowers people.
Welcome to the 9th International Conference on Appropriate Technology, which we are hosting at the Chouani University of Technology in Pretoria, South Africa, in collaboration with the International Network for Appropriate Technology. I am chair of the local organizing committee. My name is Amira Osman. I am professor in architecture at the Department of Architecture and Industrial Design at TUT. I also hold the position of Sachi Research Chair in Spatial Transformation.
My name is Dr. Olukorede Adenuga. I'm a postdoctoral research fellow with industrial engineering. I'm a member of the local organizing committee for the 9th ICAT, hosting at TUT, Chouani University of Technology, with collaboration with universities in South Africa and agencies of government and some external sponsors as well. I am focusing on employment creation for community, cross-pollinating, innovating models.
My name is Sulufelo Mukonopo and I'm part of the LOC organizing committee. As you can see my t-shirt, my mask representing the conference, and we are here at Gibela Place where we are hosting the conference in this venue.
My name is Giovanni Munzambe. I am the technical support team for the ICAT conference. So our role is to assist the conference with everything regarding the platform we're using, the form for registration as well, because it's going to be an online conference. It's starting today until the 27th of November.
To build excellence, research excellence, high quality output, we must not just go for just doing research. We must also really include all aspects. Impact is very important. Problem solving is very important. Inclusion is very important of all the actors that are relevant for it. And I think in the world we are now, in the COVID-19 time, what we need is this kind of new innovation, new excellence.
The Plan A simulation game is about the future workplace, as everyone is discussing the concept of Industry 4.0. And very few people can actually understand or know how to implement Industry 4.0 in their workplace. So with the Plan A simulation game, we use it as a test environment to help people have, or rather break the ice about the Industry 4.0 and the digitized world. So we use the game for both commercial and academic purposes. And our setup for the Plan A is we create fictitious companies where you set up your company the very same way you would set up your company in the real world. And you set up the departments, and then you have employees, and you have a budget the very same way you would have in your company. And then in that setup, we then try out different scenarios that we think can work within the new workplace. As everyone is having the discussion about the Great Reset, this may also help companies that are looking to expand, companies that are looking to have growth, or rather position themselves to be future viable.
So today, I want to just challenge everyone that is participating in this conference and say the success of this conference will be how we respond to human development challenges. So at Gibela, we are not always about trains, but we are also about people. Hence, human development is at the center of our business.
Coming to the conference itself, which is the second time that is being hosted in South Africa, and this time around is hosted by us at Tshwane University of Technology. If we were convening physically, I was going to say let's clap hands for that. Because as a University of Technology, the largest University of Technology, underline largest, it is very much important that we participate in this space. It is not by mistake that our institution is hosting this conference.
However, once we started to really conceptualize this as an online event, like Prof. Bunifu said, suddenly we realized the opportunities. We were able to invite people and collaborate with people that wouldn't have been possible, because previously we were restricted by thinking, oh, we don't have money for flights, and we don't have this, and we don't. So once we started, we discovered that this actually is a great opportunity. And I think we harnessed that opportunity really well. And we harnessed what technology offers us today, and we made connections that we would not have considered otherwise. And I would like to think that not just in the 9th ICAT, but in everything, that we are not just recovering, we are not returning to what was in terms of our practice and how we do things, but we're rather emerging stronger with new visions.
Secondly, thank our sponsors, once again, Gibela, Tshwane University of Technology, the Passion of Hope International, and also NRF, the National Research Foundation, who gave us a nice grant to help pull off this conference. Most importantly, though, I'd like to thank the participants, those of you who are in our virtual audience, because you're the ones that are going to make the 9th ICAT a success. You're the ones that we're counting on helping us to grow the appropriate technology movement. And I say movement because we want to go beyond just participation in a conference. What we're attempting to do with INAT is to build an appropriate technology movement. smart decolonizing of our curriculum, we have seen certain areas that even have been identified to the advocates of Fourth Industrial Revolution as a need for us to embrace within the curriculum that will allow for people to understand better what's going on in the world. And these are what I call thinking paradigms, that we need to, within the curriculum, focus more on critical and creative thinking. We need to have all students take courses like that. All students take courses on computational thinking. When we say computational thinking, we don't just mean that everyone needs to learn how to be a computer programmer, but we need to understand the concept of computational thinking and how that applies beyond just the use of computer languages.
Trimble said, the curriculum change, this decolonizing thing, not the education from kindergarten to everything. We Africans should value ourselves and also value the huge, the extraordinary ideas that have come that will save not just us. Ubuntu will save the world. If I'm you and you are me, why would I want to kill you? If I kill you, I'm killing myself. Better I hurt myself than hurting you. That kind of value we have, which is extraordinary. And that value, we should bring it back. And then we should change the whole legal system, the governance system. Everything has to be really nicely done.
My aim here was to understand that exclusion and structure of the city give us the possibility to face it through more coherent public policies, and the resignification of the language game allows the residents to claim political authority in their territories. I hope I could contribute to some extent to a critique of the contemporary production of cities where the resistance means the right to exist, far beyond the so-called right to this city or right to housing. Thank you very much.
Organic waste to energy, otherwise known as O, is basically a business for nature. We believe in preserving our planet's biodiversity for future generations. From a healthy and a well-preserved biodiversity comes the essence of healthy communities, sustained cities, and sustained economies.
Given that we are all interested in appropriateness and we're all interested in sustainable farming, a rejection of what has been called conventional, even called falsely the Green Revolution, there is a need to steer the direction towards sustainability, especially with climate change. And so this workshop is an intention to see how, with your great minds, we can come together and create partnerships.
But our position, I think what this group will be doing there, take back and see take stock. Because the trajectory we take today is going to determine the type of development, the type of food and agricultural system developed tomorrow. So for me, it's time to wait. As the French will say, c'est urgent d'attendre. It's very urgent to wait, to really go back and find out. And I think this is the appropriateness of it. I'm going to start from them. Going back to the reality of our lives, reality of nature. What are the fundamentals? What are the working principles of our planet? And go back and study them. and see whether it is going to be a new springboard for us to correct the mistakes. And I think this should be the focus of this workshop we're doing today. The capacity to go back. With the water hyacinth picking up all the waste, picking up the solar energy, and purifying all the wastewater. On the right-hand side after that one, the water is clean, we can raise fish. On the left top right-hand side, that is a latrine. But it doesn't smell because all of them flow into the water hyacinth with the microorganism. They purify all the wastewater. The wastewater is purified to use again, and the water hyacinth grows 1/3 every week. Is the fastest growing biomass, sequestrating carbon, purifying the waste, cleaning all the water, and then we harvest the water hyacinth, we chop them up bottom left to create energy. You see, this is how we can create energy over there with waste to wealth. This is how it happens. The new beginning. This is a new ecological village. We call it the green rural city, where everything is integrated, the new economy here, where the energy is produced from the waste, and the waste is, so we produce the energy, but also the waste from the biogas is used to fertilize again, so everything is being transformed. You see the energy production everywhere. You see, this is from waste to wealth.
But then we heard from Father Nzamujo this morning. He says it simply, the only way to fight poverty is to make the poor productive. And so that's what Passion of Hope wants to do. How can we make the poor productive? So we picked these 5 areas of water, sanitation, and health, WASH, education of the next generation, healthcare, housing, community, infrastructure, livelihoods, and food security. All related. You can't just do one or the other, and that piecemeal, it has to be integrated.
Thank you so much. Thank everyone once again. My name is Emmanuel Zabrino, and I will be assisting with the technical stuff around navigating with the WebEx platform. This is room B. Room B, and we will be holding this session with Professor Amira Osman, who will be coordinating the session. So some guidelines on how we are going to be carrying our session.
Question, I like that you actually like to say in production here. And can you say something about your, now that you're in production, how you're marketing, how you're actually getting this out? I mean, it's a novel concept, so it's not a, let's say, natural market in the sense of people you can go right to. So how are you approaching that?
Yeah, so you're absolutely right. I mean, this is a completely new product category. So it wasn't a product that we could develop, and that there was a natural market waiting for this product. So, you know, the marketing has been one of our greatest challenges. There's a lot of education that needs to occur in terms of what a product like this can achieve and what the value is to the user. So in doing that, we found that getting the product in front of potential customers or just ordinary people was very important, because that was a way for us to actually demonstrate how it worked and really kind of give an expert perspective or view on the benefits and the value.
So I have my breadboard again, and we see that my resistor is hooked into the ground rail, and my LED is connected to my resistor and to nothing else. So what I'm going to do is first, I'm going to take a wire, if you can see this, a jumper cable, and I'm going to connect it to one of these slots for my LED. And then I can't do this in front of the screen because I need two hands. But then I will take this jumper cable and connect it to pin 17 on my Raspberry Pi. Just one more.
Our conferences and in a sense, our movement started gaining ground in 2004 when we had our first international conference on appropriate technology. And that was hosted at the National University of Science and Technology in Bulawayo, Zimbabwe. At the time, I was a Fulbright professor in the computer science department there, and we're able to organize a number of academics engaged there, and also to get practical action, whose headquarters in Southern Africa is located in Zimbabwe, to be an active player in the first conference. So the theme was a knowledge management approach to the development of appropriate technology, sustainable land-based projects.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, colleagues, students. You are welcome to the 9th International Conference on Appropriate Technology. This morning, we will be having 6 presentations in all. Just let me introduce myself. I am Professor Patricia Upola from the Tshwane University of Technology. I am your host this morning.
Yes, well done to the second presenter with regards to the focus on, I really liked what he said in that we mustn't focus on one virus, but we must focus on creating healthy environments in general. So I really appreciated that. And if I'm not mistaken, he ended his presentation with change the world.
Yes.
And I thought that was beautiful. And Katleho is speaking about enhancing imagination through these kind of interventions. Katleho, I've probably mentioned to you before that part of the UIA 2014 declaration was that food production needed to be an integral part of every building project. So your project has great significance. You're looking at using technology and this link between technology and buildings and agriculture and food production in facilitating wisdom transfer. I really think that these are incredibly noble aims to have. And yes, and one thing that the previous presenter also said with regards to indoor air quality, and I hope I understand what he implied, was that sometimes small amendments help achieve quite a lot in terms of the criteria that he's measuring. So we need the change in thinking, and we need that change in thinking to help us change the way that we design.
Panelists to the student section in this ongoing ICAT International Conference on Appropriate Technology. hosting live in Pretoria. And our theme is technology exchange and employment creation for community empowerment. So the idea is to cross-pollinate innovative models.
Of the desktop-based application. So we decided to design a warehouse, whereby inside the warehouse we are going to put a welding jig and also welding jig parts models. Our main aim is to actually interact with the object in the virtual environment, since we are more focused on the visual reality development. So this one is a desktop based application, since you guys don't have the headset with you. So inside the warehouse, when you come in, by pressing the W key, you come in. This is your warehouse. This is your warehouse. This is the welding curtains. So inside, there's the welding jig here. Then there's the welding table. So what we are going to do today, we are going to add some parts on the table. Then after that, the user will inspect the parts.
She's well known for the Ndebele art creation, and her work that she learned from her previous ancestors, or she learned when she was growing up. And there is Ndebele, is it Ndebele community village that is already existing. So what she has done, she has been acknowledged throughout the world. In the US, even the BMWs, they use her art and craft. So what she has done, she has actually used the indigenous knowledge for the Ndebele culture. And then they found how to use technology in terms of industrializing the culture. So in other words, one of the advantages is to actually industrialize using the culture. Now, there are new concepts such as your virtual reality as well as your augmented reality. One would question whether could this be used in terms of our indigenous knowledge systems going forward? And if we do so, what are the implications of ensuring that the economic benefits, they come back?
There is an indigenous knowledge systems qualification that is being supported by the Department of Science and Innovation. And I think it's an excellent opportunity. Yes, Dr. Mwangi spoke about the people, the pharmaceutical industry. But I think with the view that we need to take is the appropriateness of indigenous knowledge as technology for dealing with the various challenges.
Comes to traditional healers. And now with the national health insurance coming on board, soon to be rolled out, and it's being piloted at various provinces, there's also a need to promote universal health coverage by integrating these traditional and complementary medicine services into the healthcare service delivery and healthcare as a whole? And how then do you integrate this? Because we know there's a common stat that about 80% of the people use traditional medicine. So then how do we as researchers contribute to make sure that these are thoroughly researched in terms of safety, efficacy, and quality assurance? And there are certain parameters that one needs to take into consideration. But for now, I would like to leave it here that there has been advancements, and as a country, our regulatory body has made a call to regulate the products at least and the practices. Thank you.
Currently, in Africa, since 2019, you can see the numbers of innovation tech hubs that exist on the continent from north, south, east, west. This is a tremendous improvement. But is the situation changing fast enough? We require quick actions to keep up with the pace of technological knowledge, development, and innovation that will meet the needs of critical services for sustainable growth, development, well-being, and prosperity. The situation requires a different perspective towards technological and scientific knowledge development and exchange. Quick action is critically important at this time. According to Christine Lagarde, President of the European Economic Bank and former head of the International Monetary Fund, the world is experiencing transformation on the move. What does this mean for us? We need to make change that will empower communities while the world is constantly disrupting due to technological innovation, social, environmental, economic change, and global pandemics. This change has to make it possible for communities to keep pace, to secure a better standard of living, wealth, and prosperity.
On this point, I want to thank everybody for participating, for playing both working roles and leadership roles in this conference. I think we've been successful with it. And with that note, I want to end today's session and this week's conference. Thank you, everybody.